Hi everybody, I'm Angie Jones and welcome to Love Starts in the Kitchen. Join me and discover your own love for cooking. Can you believe how tall this pile of snow is? I think pretty soon it's going to reach the top of our roof if it keeps snowing like this. But you know, all this snowy, cold weather always reminds me of making soup. And I can think of nothing better today than to do that and enjoy a nice, hot, steamy bowl of soup in just a few minutes. It doesn't take that long. So let's go inside, we'll make some soup and get out of this cold weather. Hi, welcome to Love Starts in the Kitchen. I'm Angie Jones, and today we're going to be making a broccoli cheese soup that's just very similar to Panera's, although this one I think has a little more broccoli in it than I remember having last time we went to Panera. But we've made this recipe so easy, and it will just take you minutes to put together and hardly any time to make. And so let's get started. I'm going to be using frozen broccoli because you don't have to chop it, you don't have to wash it, you don't have to do anything to it except put it in the pot and then get ready to enjoy your soup. So, all right, we're going to put 4 cups of frozen broccoli. It's still frozen and it's kind of chopped up roughly, which is perfect. Get in there. And then let's put one diced onion. I diced it kind of finely because I didn't want big chunks in it. But if you like it more chunky, then, you know, go for it. We'll put that in there. And then when I was grating carrots not too long ago, I made a bunch of little packets for soup or even in rice or, you know, wherever you want a carrot. I grated it pretty finely. So I'm leaving this out because I'm not going to put this in until we do the second part of our soup. Since it's grated, it won't take that long to cook and I want them not to dissolve. So we're going to leave it out. It's all, it's still a little frozen because I made a little frozen packet. And then I'm going to add garlic, of course. We put garlic in everything. I put, I think, about 2 teaspoons of garlic in here. And then I have some smoky paprika. We're going to put that all in there too. Like literally, this is the easiest soup you could ever make. Some ground mustard. And then we have some Better-Than-Bouillon chicken broth that they make into a concentrate. And I really love this stuff. It adds so much flavor into your soups. And with this, I don't add any additional salt. So whatever is in here is all that's necessary to salt the soup. I've never really had to salt it. I've never had anyone say, oh, I need more salt. It turns out the right amount of saltiness for us anyway, but that's always to taste. So you should taste your soup as you're making it. And then we're going to put a few grinds of pepper. Let's see, get down there, guys. And you put in to taste. I put in like maybe 1/4 teaspoon. And then here's the secret ingredient. You put a little shake of cayenne pepper. And that really adds a little zing to your broccoli cheese soup that it's kind of undetectable, but it still gives you a little bit of something there that you can't define. And then we're going to add some water. I'm going to do about 4 cups. And let me see here. And then here is what it looks like. It just almost is barely to cover. So we're going to put this on the stove. Okay, so we're going to take this to the stove and cook it for about 30 minutes. And we're going to bring it up to a boil. And then we're going to turn it down to about a medium heat to a low heat and let it cook for the full 30 minutes. And then afterwards, we're going to do the second step, which is making it into a kind of a thicker soup with the cheese. And that's going to be really delicious. So I'm going to give it a little stir to incorporate some of these spices and the bouillon in it. So that way it can all cook up real nice. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this on and leave it on high until it comes to a boil. And then we're going to turn it down, and that's when we're going to start to kind of time it at 30 minutes. And then we'll come back in 30 minutes and then move on to the next step. Okay, so 30 minutes have passed, and our broccoli with all the seasonings and the chicken stock is ready to come over here and move to the next step. So let's grab it off the stove, and then we're going to put our lid right there. And then now we're going to do a little immersion blending. And I'm not going to chop it up really fine. I just want to make a few of the bigger broccoli pieces, you know, a little smaller, and it makes a better consistency for the broccoli soup. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, and I'll tell you what, I have not been sorry that I got this immersion blender, because I got it on sale, and I've used it a lot in soups. So I'm going to leave some chunks in here, because that makes it really good. Let's do a couple more of these. Okay, get some of that excess off. Put that in there. And then now we're going to be making a little slurry with some milk. I'm using evaporated milk and some flour. So I'm going to go ahead and incorporate both of these, and they're both cold. Well, the flour isn't normal room temperature, but the milk is cold. I didn't heat it up or anything because I want to incorporate this and try to get out all of the lumps, because we don't want a lumpy soup. And we're going to make like a slurry and then pour it into our soup and then let it cook for just a while longer. Okay, we're just going to blend, blend, blend. What I like to do is I'll take a little bit of this, of the hot soup, and I'm going to temper the slurry that we're making. So we're going to add a little bit at a time. So that way when we put it into the soup, it's not going to turn into little pills of dumplings and weird lumpy soup. You don't want that. And this is a good way to do it, because then you don't get the lumpiness. Okay, we might have to add a little bit more. And just stir it right in. And then we're going to take this whole thing and then just put it into the soup and stir it up with a whisk as well. Okay, now we've kind of tempered it. We're going to drizzle it in and whisk it in. Don't just dump it in and then not stir it up. But a whisk works the best. I've tried it with a spoon, and that doesn't seem to work as well for me. We're going to put this all in there, and it's going to make a nice thick soup with hopefully no lumps, right? But honestly, there's a few times that it's turned out a little lumpy, and I can't really say that it was terrible. It was still delicious. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to add next the carrots that I had already grated and put into the freezer for soups and other things that you want to add grated carrot to sometimes. And I'm just going to put this in here. And I like the grated carrot because it still adds a little bit of color and texture, but yet it's not the huge chunks that sometimes you see in different recipes. I don't really like the big chunks of carrots. Now on this cheese, I only used about half of this tiny, smaller block. I think this is a 7-ounce block. So I only used about half of it, and I hand grated it with my box grater. We're going to put that in. Oops. And then I have a tablespoon of butter as well. We're going to put that in. And now we're going to take this back to the stove. And then we're going to heat that all up and cook the flour real good. There we go. And I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit more water in here because this is getting a little thicker than I would like it. So we're going to add probably another cup and a half of water. Let's do that. Here we go. I'm just going to stir this all up. And see, the carrots look so pretty in there. It gives it a little bit of the orange flecks, and it's just really makes for an appetizing soup where you have lots of different textures and the color is pretty. I know when I went to Panera not too long ago, I love their soup so much. I love their broccoli cheddar soup. But I really, when I came back home, I was like, oh, you know, I think I could make a version at home that's even better and has more broccoli and more cheese and more of the carrots in it. So I really wanted to make it super vegetable-y because it's good for you and it's a really great way to get your vegetables without feeling like it's a chore and you really feel like it's a big treat. So we're going to let this come to a bit of a boil and then we're going to turn it down and we're going to let it cook for probably about 7 to 10 minutes. So that way we cook all the flour really well. We don't want it to be kind of that raw flour taste. So let's just stir this up a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it up to a boil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back in about 10 minutes. And then it'll be all ready. And then it'll be ready to serve. Okay, so we've just taken our soup off the stove. And it's all ready for us to eat. And I can't wait to serve it and have a little taste because this is so delicious. You are going to love it. Such a treat. Okay, let's see. Hopefully I don't spill it all over the counter when I ladle it out. Here we go. Oh, this is so pretty. Look, I'm going to do it especially neat. Here we go. Look at that. Look at the nice chunks of broccoli and the shredded carrots. It doesn't get any better. Here we go. And then look at this. Now when you get this soup outside, I don't know that you are going to get quite this much broccoli or quite this much carrots. So you get a nice blend of flavors. It's not too thick. It's not thin and watery. You really have a nice consistency in the soup. And it is so hot right now. I hope I don't burn my face when I eat it. It'll be so good though. Okay, let's see. I'm going to blow. Oh gosh, delicious as usual. You know, the only thing that I would really put on this that I forgot to make, or else I would have made it, is some croutons. And I really love it when I make it with the bread that we have in a previous video, the supersized bread. If you take some of that and you chop it up into little squares, and then you can even pan fry this, because I do this all the time. Pan fry it with a little bit of butter, and you can make the most delicious croutons to top your soup, buttery and delicious and crunchy. So it adds a little extra flavor. So please make the soup, even if someone does not like broccoli, they will love it. Like my husband, not a big broccoli fan, but he asks for the soup exclusively every single time. So give it a try. And thank you for joining us today at Love Starts in the Kitchen. And yeah, enjoy your broccoli soup. Thanks for joining me today at Love Starts in the Kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and like it, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'd never miss an episode. And always remember to keep love in your kitchen.